Okay,
yourself.
joining on today's show, I'm joined by not one guest, but two guests. And those two guests make up Raintown. How we doing, Raintown? How we doing?
Thank,
Hi, thanks for having
thank you
us.
for having us.
Yeah, hi to Paul and hi to Claire. How we doing today?
It's good,
Very
mate.
good.
It's been a busy one, but it's all good. We're various stages of preparing for gigs and obviously still in the album promo stage. So it's busy every day, which is great. The way we like it. The
Yeah.
way we like
So how long have you been together for as a piece, a two-piece?
it.
Wow, so Raintown was properly formed in 2010. Before that we, had the idea and the concept of Raintown and the passion for it. But we actually officially released our very first single in 2010, which was Just One Kiss. And our
Great.
album followed that, our very first debut album followed that very, very quickly.
Oh, so you've been around for some time then,
Yeah, it seems to be.
but in a
We
good
just
way.
keep what we
Yeah.
just keep turning up, Dan, just like a bad penny. We just won't go away. Yeah, so we've been going. We're on to our third album now. Um, and we're super lucky. We've got a really good, strong fan base that's followed us from more or less start.
Yeah.
And the core of that is stuck with us, and we're super, super grateful for that.
That's really nice to hear. So Raintown, does that come from an inspiration from a song from Deacon Blue at all, or is it completely different?
No, mate, that you're spot on. So Deacon Blue had the album Raintown, which was celebrating effectively Glasgow. And we started going to Nashville in 2010. We started talking to people over there, and we wanted something where we could be very proudly talking about Glasgow. And we felt that Raintown probably represented that. Although we're obviously not out in the fields, and it's not cowboys and it's not all these things. What it is working class people, and I think that's what country music speaks to more than anything, is working class people who are trying to get through the week and have all the problems that working class people do, especially in this day and age. And I think it's what we sing about and what Raintown represents. And I think that has a strong affinity with country music.
Brilliant. Glasgow, I've been there a few times actually. It's a magnificent city, the architecture, so grand.
Mate, we're super lucky.
Super lucky,
It's,
yeah.
it's a great city. I was talking to a lady the other day there from Argentina who was interviewing us, and she was saying she couldn't believe how pretty that was. And we're actually interviewing at George Square, so it's particularly nice, especially because it was sunny, and so it was looking very grand. So yeah, we're super proud of coming from Scotland, the UK, but specifically from Glasgow.
That's nice. Also Raintown as well. So you do music come rain or shine.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, non-stop, mate. We also have two daughters, one's 7 and one who's 2, who constantly sing or dance, or they're doing selfie videos. The 7-year-old is, and now the 2-year-old's trying to get in that. So yeah, we're surrounded by it, which is an amazing thing. Amazing thing.
And your children, would you like to see them following your footsteps, like enter like the music field or any artistic like field?
I mean, they're already showing, that way inclined. Like the bigger one, she does piano, so she really loves playing piano. And she does love to sing, although she probably shies away from it a bit more due to what we do, And the wee one, she just sings everything. I don't know about her.
Yeah, I mean, she'll literally sing literally anything at all. And so anyways, in the back of the car, she'll sing the album because we've got it on, and we're still lucky, Dan, because we're at that stage where they asked to get it on. Our Alba Rose, who's our 7-year-old, asked to put the album on. So she's asked for it every day.
Which is quite nice, actually. I don't know how much longer that will last.
Not long.
That she thinks that mummy and daddy's music's nice. So we're lapping that up. And if they want to get into the arts, we're very happy to full on support them, or anything that they want to do. I know it's quite.
Yeah. Yeah, so like being supportive, yeah. Just lost you a second there, just hope to get you back. 1 second. So yeah, I'm joined by Raintown at the moment. Hopefully get them back very shortly.
No,
Oh,
the
they have
phone's
it. Yeah,
back.
no worries. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but welcome back to the show, Raintown. So just picking up from where we last saying you're supportive of your children entering the arts, so to speak.
Absolutely, and we're super lucky. Albert Rose actually features on the album as well. We won't spoil the surprise for anyone, but she's on there, and she actually has been on stage a couple of times with us, but specifically at the Glasgow date a couple of weeks ago, she came up and done her bit. So it was, that some stuff like that, you never take it for granted, Dan. It's one of these things which may pass as she gets older, and we're at that stage where we start worrying about things like the last time they do things. So the last time they want to come and give you a cuddle, or lie with you and watch TV and all these things. So we lap all these things up every opportunity.
Yeah, of course. Brill. Also, like so country music as well. Trying to raise awareness, country music to young people. That's essential, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's happening. I think it's happening in different ways, though, Dan. I think obviously the democratization of music across the world through YouTube and whether we like it or not, Spotify and all these other things, and people yourself, mate, like your channel will reach people that we would never reach, and that's an amazing thing. And I think what happens is younger people do not care about the genre as much as potentially older folk do, and I understand there is a love of country music, and that's essential, and for us, we were brought up with it. We're super lucky that was the case. But I think the way that the whole music scene is changing. I mean, I don't know what it's like where you are, mate, but certainly up here, every other week there's a new country bar opening or a new country night, and I know, and even in that interview on Sunday night, there was people walking about with Stetsons on, and so there is certainly a growth in the market. You look in the Times, I think there was something in the Telegraph this past week. All the kind of music magazines and probably mainstream magazines carrying something. Obviously, the whole Post Malone, Beyonce situation opens that door a little bit wider. But I do believe that if people just took a chance to listen to it, they would love it, and we've always thought that.
I think with the Spotify playlists as well, that younger people, they just have their playlist programmed, and good music is good music at the end of the day. I don't really think that they care too much about what genre something is. Like our kids, we bring them up on so many different genres of music, but we never actually sit down and discuss, what genre is this and what's that. It's just good music from our perspective, what we want to play.
I do have to challenge people to say good music's dated, because the music that they're talking about is timeless, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and I think, I think there's that whole cliche look at country music, and cliche not necessarily in a bad way, but we're talking about, a lot of people still think country music, they think Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, but they're amazing artists and should be timeless. Of course they should be. Like they are the giants that you get to stand on their shoulders and try and build something. So if it wasn't for them, I'm not even sure that we would have the flourishing genre of music that we do. But I think that the size of the umbrella term country music is so wide now, and encompasses so many different styles. And I think that's probably a good thing. I think people bring their authenticity to it through the way that they speak, the way that they sing, the way that they write. But ultimately, it's about storytelling, I believe. And it's about telling stories about everyday people, and trying to do it in a slightly different way.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So keeping the country music legacy alive and passing it from generation to generation.
Absolutely.
Right. Just want to go on to music now, where that's what we're mainly here for. A couple of songs now. You have released called "The Writing on the Wall."
So that "Writing on the Wall" was our second album. Our first album was "Hope in Troubled Times," followed by "Writing on the Wall," and then most recent, our third album, "Acoustic Heart."
Brilliant. So and this latest album,
yeah. Mate, so I mean, writing in the wall was an amazing experience for us, just because we got to record it down in Liverpool in Parr Street before Parr Street was sadly taken away. An incredible studio, incredible musicians. It was just such a good experience, and throughout the whole thing was a good experience, as was Acoustic Heart. So yeah, it was a good time for us in terms of we were playing a lot of gigs and we were out promoting that music across the UK and into Europe and into Canada as well.
Yeah. That's good. And onto your latest album now. Would you like to just tell me when it was released and how did that come about?
So it was released on April 26th, and that album was 5 years actually in the making.
Yeah, too long.
You know, we very first, you know, started tracking that album back in 2019, like in the summer. And to be honest, it was a completely different concept and a completely different project from what it actually turned out to be. We initially went into the studio with, you know, just an idea maybe to do some filler in between, you know, Writing on the Wall and our big electric album, as we like to call it. And we went into studio, put some down. We were just going to do a basic kind of an acoustic album. Stevie Lawrence, who is our long-term bandmate, you know, acoustic and bouzouki player, you know, started dreaming up these crazy visions for the album. Producer of Acoustic Heart, yeah.
So he had this vision, Dan, of taking our songs that we'd written in previous songs like Writing on the Wall, in fact, and giving them a kind of transatlantic sessions feel. So it was really marrying who we were in our Scottish heritage, Celtic heritage, with the Nashville kind of sounds. And ultimately, people are referring to it as an acoustic album. That when we were talking about Acoustic Heart, you know, Claire says this very well, is we were talking about at the heart of every song, it's the lyric and an acoustic instrument, most obviously the guitar. And that's what the Acoustic Heart was. And it doesn't sound like an acoustic album. It's got so much instrumentation. It's a really rich tapestry of different instruments pulling from different genres. And we're really, really proud of it. And, you know, hat off to Stevie Lawrence for his vision and his patience with us as the whole process went along.
Just looking at it now, it's got nice 12 tracks, it doesn't, and it lasts for 50 minutes. So that's a good length for an album.
Yeah, mate. We obviously dropped.
We recorded, I think, 15 songs, didn't we?
More than that, I think. 16 or 17. And we'd lost a couple really early on. And then it really came down to a choice of 2 or 3 of them that would sit very well in the album, but very similar to other songs in the album. We wanted people to feel a freshness from it and to enjoy listening to it. And ultimately, once they get to the end of it, to want to play it again. And certainly the feedback has been exactly that, which is really nice.
Great to hear. And do you have any like gigs coming up? I know you got a London date coming up. That's the 3rd of July. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, we do. And we have one in the end of this month, actually. It's in Nairn, which is just outside Inverness in Scotland. We're doing that. And we have the Meltdown Festival.
Meltdown Festival in Paisley,
in August.
Which is in August. We're also then back to a relatively local gig in Mulgai at the end of the year. But we're in between that, Dan. We're looking at, you know, we're still in chat with Newcastle, Manchester, potentially kind of Wolverhampton area, Birmingham, and a few others who have contacted us about potentially doing stuff. So, like anything, it's just a case of making sure we can slot everything in and make it work within their diary and our diary.
Of course, yeah. And do you have a website where people can just check out, like, you know, your schedule or your tours or your gigs?
Absolutely. So it's raintownmusic.com, and that's our official website. But, you know, we can be found in all the usual places, just at Raintown Music for Twitter, X. Sorry, I sounded so old there, didn't I? Yeah. Twitter, X, Instagram.
Agreed.
Facebook. Yeah, the whole thing.
Like with now, you can just ask your Alexa to say Raintown and it'll come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It will do, mate. If you do it, it will certainly play us. And if you happen to get Deacon Blue to start with, just ask again and ask it, and it'll definitely play us.
Nice. Well, nice one, guys. Thanks for joining me today. Paul and Claire, is it Bain? That's your surname.
Yeah.
It is.
Right. Thanks for your company today and your contribution to my show. It's been really a pleasure speaking with you both.
Thank you.
Dan, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
No worries. My pleasure. Take care. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye.